Hello and welcome back to the All Golden Fruits speedrun tutorial. We're on part 5, which means we're in the water area. So, the water controls are going to be a little different, but let's just go ahead and get into Scuba Duba right away. There's going to be a cutscene you skip right here. Bam, nice and easy. So yeah, swimming controls, they're fun. You can press your jump button to do this little boost. If you press and hold your boost button and then let go when that ring encloses around Pac-Man, you get a faster boost. We're going to be doing that quite a lot here. You can attack with your attack button as per usual. You can still do dot throws, but we're not going to need either of these. You also have a float and dive. So float makes you go up, dive makes you go down. So here, these levels are actually going to be really easy because we're going to clip through a wall. So this is going to be mushroom clip. This is probably the easiest one to do because the other one involves a rock back here, this rock right here. But it's a little finicky to get, so I'm going to teach you the easier one in my opinion. So for this clip, we're going to go down under this green mushroom here. We're going to go down and around, kind of dive around it. Then hold dive and you do those boosts into this little gap like that. It's not as easy as it seems, more or less because it's really finicky depending on how this mushroom's angled. So yeah, this gap, I'll try and put like a circle around where you need to boost towards, but yeah, you boost down into here. Sometimes you get just pushed out like that, that's fine. You can just go right back in and try again. It's definitely just something you have to practice. Like this took me a while to get down and I still fail it every so often just because it's really finicky. If you're not getting it, I've heard sometimes like moving back towards the corner and then trying to boost back in helps. There. But yeah, it's just really finicky. This is definitely one of the things you want to practice a lot because taking the level normally is slower. And then you just do your boosts down towards the goal, which is all the way down there. You see it, all that little glowing dot? So yeah, that's where we're headed. So if you're starting out, you can just hold dive and keep boosting until you think you've gone far enough and you can just keep boosting forward. Or the optimal way is to press dive every so often. So you're kind of taking a straighter path to the goal. So yeah, that was a very quick and easy first level, and we're going to do the same thing on the next level. So yeah, Shark Attack, the clips here, there's actually 2 clips that you can do. One for if you're on the older patch of the game, and one for if you're on the current patch of the game. But the one for current patch is actually a little faster than the easier old patch one. We're going to do the easy old patch clip first. So actually just behind the starting area here is this rock. We're going to come and dive into the corner, and then boost and hold left. It's that easy. I'm serious. Here, let's do it again just for effect. You're in the corner. Boost, hold left. It's that easy. And then the goal is off over that way, but I'm going to show the slightly more finicky clip for those on current patch. So it actually has to do with this wall right here, this little crack. It's a little different on current patch. I believe you have to be like somewhere up here. Hi, post-recording edit, where you actually need to line up is right next to this line here on the right wall, and then you do the clip the exact same as I explained in the video. But on old patch, you can actually be down here at the bottom and still clip in. What you have to do is boost into this crevice and kind of angle yourself towards the left. Yeah, I've always had the easiest time doing it from down here. Yeah, just like that. But yeah, you kind of just boost into the corner here and angle yourself left. Now, we head towards the goal. In boosting this way, I like to go on the right side of this bigger area with the 2, actually I think it's just 1 shark. We go over this pipe and then head towards the goal, so the other shining dot. Squeeze between here. And just like that, it's so nice and quick and easy. Yeah, you can kind of chain your boosts together to move the fastest. Okay, now we have the world's easiest level. Yellow Pac-Marine is an auto-scroller. Skip the cutscene. And then you more or less just sit around and move occasionally. For the starting section, you can just sit here in the top right corner and do nothing. Nothing will be able to hit you. See, look, all the missiles are just going right by. Oh yeah, I should probably talk about the yellow Pac-Marine moveset. You can move as per usual. You can do this barrel roll, and you can shoot a torpedo with the B button. or whichever is your jump button, I believe. Then there's also these power-ups that you can get. This one coming right up here is the laser. You get to do this cool laser. It's a very good weapon for destroying these little torpedoes, because you can just tap it and it'll destroy any of them that are in the way. Bam. It also does a hefty chunk of damage if you're looking to deal damage faster than just your torpedoes. For this section, I just like to sit here at the bottom towards the middle. You can obviously just like destroy the propeller blades. The power bomb is easily the strongest of the weapons. It's essentially just a screen clear. The next level is going to be another Pac-Marine level, and that's where it's going to be most useful on. The homing torpedoes are not very good. They're essentially just good for these little enemies. Also, these homing missiles are a little annoying. It's good to use the laser on them, just so you can delete them right away. Also, make sure to avoid the gachapons. There was one in that tunnel section with the fans and one right there at the end that we just passed by. And yeah, that's Yellow Pac-Marine. Very, very, very easy level. It's not the 8-minute auto-scroller that it used to be in the original. And last but not least, we now have the longest level and also longest boss in the game, Whale on a Sub. We're gonna skip the cutscene right away. So, since this is kind of an auto-scroller section, that's going to give me some time to talk about how we fight Whale. We are going to try and take a power bomb into the fight with us, just so we can do the first phase extremely quickly. And there's actually 2 ways of doing the fight. One's going to be a lot harder. That's like, it's not consistent because there is a bit of RNG to it with how Whale moves, but I'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, phase 1, more or less, what you want to do is just immediately launch the power bomb. It will destroy, more often than not, 3 of the cannons and leave 1 at partial health. So, and then you just destroy that cannon and you'll move on to the next part. But we'll get into that later. The other thing you could try and do is shoot down all the cannons with your torpedoes and do that before Whale goes down to do like a rest phase. And you can get like a piece of health or the laser weapon. So yeah, you dodge everything back there. Very straightforward. There's not a lot of danger. Take this power bomb with you into this part. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about a little more about the one cycle with the cannons, because you can actually save the power bomb for a future phase that I will get into later to do a cycle skip with it. But yeah, doing the phase 1 cannons one cycle is really hard. Even I don't get it consistently. None of the top runners really get it consistently. There's one guy, Psionics. He gets it pretty consistently, I would say. He's really good at it. So yeah, we're gonna skip this cutscene and we're gonna spam the power bomb. Go! Bam! Look, 3 cannons got destroyed and we just shoot at this one. You do have like a little lock-on feature, so it makes it easier to hit the cannons. This part of phase 1 is already finished. And now the big cannons at the front, they're like laser cannons. You just shoot these down. You can slowly move Pac-Man to dodge the laser while still staying locked onto these cannons. So like what I do is like to either tap left or right depending on where the laser's moving. So I'm just like tapping here and there. Usually around the middle, I like to go to the opposite side of the laser cannon just to stay safe. Skip the cutscene once you destroy the second one. And we're on this one. So here, these 4 cannons, now that they're restored, you can't actually attack those. The hitbox is going to be here. Now, the hardest part about this phase is actually the missiles that get shot out. And this is RNG, but sometimes a red homing missile gets shot out. You can see one here at the bottom here. These actually don't home in as strong as the ones in Yellow Pac-Marine. So you can try and avoid those just by moving around, but it's a little tricky, so I would just recommend dodging away from them. So I'm going to unpause. And that one I could avoid pretty easily. So yeah, that middle dot, I like to call it the whale's butthole because it kind of is. You just keep shooting that until it's down. You can dodge through the tail swipe, or you can just move away out of the way, and you just wait for the next time it opens up. It should be right about now, and you shoot it down. The whale does move throughout the whole thing, so you kind of have to be moving with the whale to keep consistent damage on that. Next, we're coming up to the big laser. So this is probably the hardest part to get down. So the whale's going to charge up a laser. There's a period of time where you can shoot the weak spot and deal damage to it, and eventually it will fire the laser. But if you start hitting it soon enough, you can actually make it to where whale staggers before shooting the laser. So we're going to try and do that. You kind of have to follow Whale's movements to kind of line yourself up to start getting that hit. Like that. If you see yourself not doing damage right away, you are not going to get the stagger. It's okay to take a hit of damage because you can just keep firing while you are in your damage invincibility frames. Okay, now we did that. We're now going to get a laser. You're going to have a few enemies. You can kind of just shoot them. It doesn't matter. Especially the red ones. If there's a red ship coming your way, they have a homing missile. So for the rest of these, you're going to use the laser to damage Whale. It's a lot easier to, or a lot faster dealing damage with the laser, so you want to be doing that as much as possible. Dodge the big lasers. Perfect. You can actually get a little extra damage while Whale staggers like that, but it's kind of tricky. I have another red ghost ship there, so I want to get rid of that, because homing missiles are no fun. Grab another laser. And something else, it's very important to not take damage in this fight. At least not too much damage. Usually only taking one hit is perfectly fine. Any more and phase 3 becomes harder because we're going to do an intentional damage boost there. So we're going to unpause, finish off Whale, and we're going to head into phase 3. Let's get this cutscene. Now here, this middle spot that you can kind of see is the weak point. We just have to damage it as fast as possible, and that is usually with the laser. Pew! So you can actually sit to the side of these lasers that come down and not get hit by them. The hitbox is literally the sphere of the Pac-Marine. And then for these triple lasers right here, we're going to sit here and take some damage just to stay consistently hitting the center. It's when you have these gaps right next to the middle laser that you can safely, sit to the side and continue dealing damage to the Whale's core. And just like that, the Mega Whale has been defeated and we get the golden melon. So yeah, there was another cutscene that you had to skip. And yeah, I'm not going to show off the one cycle with the cannons on phase 1. If you want to see that, you can watch some of the other runners. They have them in their PBs. I might have one in one of mine. I don't entirely remember, but I believe the time trials on speedrun.com, there should be a clip of them also doing it there. So yeah, with that is probably the shortest part of the speedrun, or at least the speedrun tutorial. So yeah, you skip your golden fruit cutscene, leave Pac Village, and that'll take us to Ghost Island. Ooh. Yeah, that'll probably be the most interesting section of the speedrun. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, or join the Pac-Man speedrunning Discord. We got a lot of people that are willing to help you out there. Thank you for watching.